Hey, welcome back to the channel. What we got today is we are going to be putting the window regulator in the glass and all of the other things to complete this side of the car as far as the door and the glass and even the quarter window goes. So right now the only thing in this door is the latch mechanisms. All of this is intact and works. And we've got this here, and that's the only thing that's in the door. I never took this out, so we won't be covering how that installs. So this was a pretty intimidating task for me. I had dreaded putting these windows and regulators in for quite a while, but it's really not that bad, I've come to find out. And I wanted to film the passenger side for you guys because I've already done the driver's side, so now I feel comfortable showing you, and I think I've got some tips and tricks to help you install yours. These are some of the main pieces. We've got the regulator. We've got this little channel here. This guide. First thing we're going to install is this little bracket here and these two holes. These are adjustable, so you can move it up and down. First though, we're going to add a little bit of grease into the channel just for smooth operation down the road. Don't need to go crazy with it, just a little bit. So just put this in, channel facing outside. Okay, so now we're going to install the regulator. Just two notes here. Just to make it easier, make sure this piece is kind of in the middle. There's like equal distance on both sides. If it's too far one way, it's going to be hard to get it in. And then this is kind of how it goes. And this wheel here is going to go in this channel we just installed. So I would kind of guide that into the channel first and then bolt it in. Okay, so now it's resting in the channel and I've got it pretty much lined up here. Just gonna get the bolt holes lined up. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but now it's time to put the glass in. And we're not going to put this, hand me that piece. We're not going to put this channel in yet. This one goes at the front of the door, kind of in this angle. We're not going to put that one in yet because it kind of makes it harder to get the wheels on the regulator into the channels on the window. So we're going to install that afterwards. And basically there's two wheels on that regulator and we got to get them lined up with the two channels on this window. There it goes. So I'm sure there's multiple ways that get it in, but for this window, we had the crank down quite a bit and we had the window all the way forward and we pulled the window back into the channels. So you can see this is the window frame, and this rod here has the wheel on it for this first one. So we pulled it back this way, and then the same way with this one here. So both of those are in, and we can crank the window up and down now. So okay, so now it's time to install this channel. This is gonna slide down. There's a plastic piece on the front of the window that this channel slides into, and these two holes in the door, this one and this one, are where we're looking to get this to line up. So. Okay, so that front channel is installed. It helped to have the window pretty far down, but obviously if you're working on this, just play with the window height and you'll end up getting it. Hopefully that gives you a view. I know it's tough to see. When we got that front channel in, the window was pretty tough to roll down, basically from here down. And we just noticed that the back of the window was rubbing on the locking mechanisms. And so in order to scoot the window forward, just unloosen these bolts, unloosen these two, and then just pry the window over. Just push it by your hand, and that's where you get the adjustment. And you can move this channel that way, and that's going to pull the window that way. So the window rolls fairly smoothly now without having the guide roller and the channels in, and that's what we want. We'll have to do some more fine tuning later, but we're going to go ahead and get the rubber installed in this frame. Okay, so we got these two pieces of rubber / felt. We're going to throw in the frame here. This one, we got both of these from Z-Car Source, and I'll have to research what exactly this one was called. But there is two pieces. This is the longer one. It's got this kind of notched angle out, and that's going to go in the upper corner, and then basically take up this entire piece. And then this secondary piece, which doesn't have any felt on it, it's just rubber, will go on this vertical leg, and that's just to help the window roll up and down. We're just going to get these installed. All you do is pinch it together like this and then feed it into the channel. And I'm just going to throw a little bit of rubber gasket adhesive, probably not necessary, but just in the channel, just to make sure it's not sliding around with the window and that it's a bit more secure. All right, so now this frame has the felt installed all the way. It's all black, so I'm sure it's hard to see, but it's all new. And now we're just going to go ahead and throw this in the door. Okay, well, this side ended up being a bit more difficult than the driver's side. I'm not really sure why, but that's just how things go. So basically, had the window rolled all the way down. The problem we were having was there's a bracket on this side of the frame, and it kept hitting on all of the locking mechanisms. So we needed the window to go that way more, but we were all out of adjustment, so we ended up taking the bolts off of this bracket so that the window could really move forward, and we'll just put that back. But the frame is in. We gotta bolt it up. Those bolt holes line up now. 2 bolts here, 2 bolts there, a couple bolts and a couple other spots. But we're gonna get this all buttoned in, get that bracket bolted back up, and then make sure it operates into the channel good. I had such a hard time with it. Unfortunately, kind of scratched up the front of the frame here, but that's okay. It's just some cheap paint, and I will just get a paintbrush and touch that up and fix that up. But yeah, that sucks, but keep moving on. Frame is all bolted in. I closed the door and it fits pretty good, and so What we did to get the window aligned in the channel, because there's some front and back play, we rolled the window all the way up, and I used both my hands while the window was up and pulled the glass back into this channel and up, and then we cinched down all of the bolts, and that should be good for now. We got to put this quarter glass in and make sure that this fits against the glass good, so we might have a bit more adjusting to do, but now we're going to put the roller guide in. This goes right here. On the channel, this just provides some roller tension on the glass to make sure it kind of stays this way, and slides up in the channel. And then we have one piece to put down at the bottom. It's a little rubber stop, and that rubber stop, when your door or your glass is all the way down, it rests on this piece of rubber so that it's not bouncing and vibrating. So these freaking things are 30 bucks, so really expensive, unfortunately, but pretty necessary. So just gonna slide this in, and we're just gonna attach it over this pinch weld, and it'll just sit in here like this. You can see how it works. Now that the window's up, we're going to install.
Already clipped it in.
Oh, it's already installed. That little piece of rubber there. Time to get this quarter glass installed. It's got a new inner rubber and an outer rubber all the way around. Unfortunately, the new rubber is new and really thick, so it makes installing it a bear because you really have to compress the rubber in order to get it to slide back. But that's pretty much it. There's just 4 bolts. All right, quarter glass is installed. You know, on the passenger side, we've faced some different problems than we had on the driver's side. For some reason, this quarter glass, it kind of sticks over this way a little bit. So in order to compensate for that, and all the bolt holes line up, and we got it pushed back as far as we could, it just kind of is this way some. So in order to compensate for that, and not let this trim here hit, we elongated this bolt hole here, and then we pushed the frame over some. We had everything loose, elongated this, pushed it over some, tightened it down. That got the frame to scoot over some, and now it's fine. The trims don't hit each other, and it's doing okay. And another little modification we did, again, I'm not too happy about it that I had to do it, but this I just gave some clearance here from this rubber trim. It's just so tight, and there's also a little piece of rubber that goes here. So those two combined, that was what the decision I made to trim this out. It'll be okay. I'm fine with that. Now we're going to go ahead and put on the door handle latch. This is a pretty simple install. We've just got this mechanism here, bolted in. It's got the nuts or the bolts facing this way. Just goes in like this, something like this, and yeah, then we just hook up the linkage. I will say, when you put this window in, make sure that the lever, this lever right here, this is for your keyhole. Make sure this is facing up, because it has a tendency to want to fall and face downwards, and if you put all of this in, you won't be able to re-rotate it back vertically to then hook on to the end of the keyhole. Ask me how I know. So that is that. All right, so everything is adjusted. I spent some time redoing the door latch because it was kind of hard to open it up and close, but we're doing pretty good now. And by the way, the striping, the tape is because I'm wet sanding and buffing still, so tape is covering up the body lines. But now we're just going to do the window operation. So the door closes good, and we've got the window that rolls up and down now. That pretty much completes this window regulator install though. One odd thing, this is actually a 240Z frame that I found out when I did the driver's side, actually, because a 280Z frame has a channel here for a piece of rubber to go. And you know, this car is actually a 280Z, but I've got 240Z frames, it seems like. So that's just the way it was when I got it. So just a random little note. But now we're going to go ahead and install these skillered door cards. So these are some nice, I believe, aluminum pieces. All right, we got all of the well nuts pushed into the door. We opted to go with the well nuts rather than the actual rivets. So we're going to go ahead and put the door card on and start getting all the hardware tightened. Okay, just got done installing this outer window top of door chrome trim piece here. Mine is painted black, and I installed my own weather stripping. There's not many options when it comes to this piece here and what's out there. I think this is definitely an improvement over, and the price is much cheaper. So if you want to check this out, if yours is rotted, missing pieces, cracked, and doesn't feel like rubber, feels more like a rock, check the description. So to finish up this video, we've got 2 or 3 more things to do. We've got to put the door handle on. So I've got this plastic piece here that goes on, the little clip here. We've got the door handle, and I'm actually also making door handle insert. So I made this piece custom, and it slides and fits right in to the door handle. I don't have those up for sale just yet, but they will be soon. So if you like this design, let me know. It's basically an exact replica of the OEM one. Slides in, pops in, and everything. It's just got a nice, sleeker Z logo on it. Could be any color, could be any design that you want. Just hit me up. And we've got the weather stripping for the door to put on. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, so we got that door rubber installed, and as many of you are probably familiar with this precision weather stripping kit, people tend to have problems with them, and I did too. So the door just would not shut no matter how hard I tried to slam it with this, and I'm really not in the mood, and I'm ready to get this car done, and I'm not in the mood to deal with a door that doesn't shut, and I don't want to break my glass trying to shut it. I also don't want to wait 3 years for this car to break in, as far as the rubber goes, break in the sun, and then it'll loosen up. So guess what? I cut some excess rubber off of this rubber. So there's an outer piece here. It's got like a circle on it. You can see where I cut it. Basically what I did was I found where it was tight against the door. I just took it off, tried shutting the door, and I took it off until I got to where the door was shutting. So I knew what parts were tight and what weren't. And I just made a cut. So I got rid of that outer lip of rubber, but I really don't think it's critical. And you know, if the door is that tight, it's going to be sealing against this rubber. And yeah, it is what it is. This car isn't going to be driving in the rain. It's not a daily driver. So I just need the doors to shut, and we got them to shut now. So not too bad. Now, I forgot a couple extra pieces. We've got another piece of weather stripping. This one goes at the bottom of the door, and it's got little push pins that push into the door. We'll be installing that. We've got the lock plastic thingy, and we've got this piece of rubber that goes right here. That also has little push pins and some glue that goes at the top here. I've got to repaint this. And then I think we're done. The top of this has some wraparound pieces and it gets glued. So it gets glued through here. It's glued where it contacts that. And then this gets pushed up and meets the channel. There's videos on Precision for how to install that, but just an overview. We gotta put some gasket adhesive there. All right, well, we've got everything done. This is a long video, I'm sure, but I just wanted to be detailed and thorough in case you find this information useful when you're rebuilding your door. Just, you know, part numbers and how to put things together. Just, you know, it might help, it might not, but a lot of work, and we're just that much closer to having a fully functional car, having windows and a crank that work. This is the first time this car has ever had that working, so I'm happy, definitely. So this is where I'm going to end it. All these pieces, rubber pieces, are gluing. They'll be gluing overnight, and then we'll pull the tape off and be done. And I'll see you in the next video.